Hi, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you guys all about Limelife's powder highlighter. So when they dropped this back in August, the hardest part was I had to actually keep my mouth shut while wearing it sometimes and not leak the fact that they were going to be releasing this. It was difficult, but the day has come, my friends. Hallelujah, I can tell you all about it. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple things, how to wear it if you're a mature person, how to tame it down, how to amp it up. I'm going to show you all the goods and whether or not it would be for you. So my name is Charity Lambert. Thank you for joining. I am a makeup artist who has a hugely passionate soul, and I'm also a nurse. Well, I was a nurse and I'm now full-time businesswoman. Okay guys, let's jump right into it. I've obviously done my makeup. Oh, I wanted to say, sorry, I always forget to do this. If this is helpful for you, could you do me a favor and just give me a thumbs up? It would be very helpful, and subscribe if you want more. Okay, so now we're gonna jump in. If you're a naturalist, there is a way for you, my friend. So this is the most creamy formula I've ever played with. I'm not kidding. It's buttery soft. It does have a bit of a shimmer to it, but there's a way to make it a bit more metallic if you're less of a shimmery person. And the cool part is that you can actually kind of do anything you want with it. So if you're like, I don't do shimmer, well, we can fix that. And if you're like, bring me the shimmer, we can do that. So I'm gonna start off maybe just kind of demonstrating different things on different sides. It's gonna be a little all over the place, but I think it's gonna be the best way to show you a number of things. I don't have time to do all these fun video edits that everyone else can do on YouTube. So the thing you're gonna do if you want a really shimmery but light highlight, this is what you're gonna do. Big, huge brush, really puffy brush. Because the puffier it is, the more diffuse or diluted it's gonna look. So I just make sure I kind of do this with my big powder brush number 1 from Limelife, just because I want it really good and open. Don't worry, it goes back to normal if you need it to. So you just go in, just be careful how much you dab the first time, because you're not going to be used to this formula, and it has squalane in it, so it's super silky and it's really pigmented. So it takes not much to put some on your brush. So if you want just a generalized highlight, nothing too crazy, maybe just a little tiny bit of shimmer in it, you're just going to kind of fluff it on, okay? That's pretty much it. So if you are wearing no makeup and you just want a bit of a glow, you can still do this, okay? So this is what you would do. And this is kind of how I've been playing with it for months. I hope I'm gonna remember everything for this video because I've been using it in so many different ways. I just don't know if I'm gonna have to do a part 2, then I'm gonna have to do a part 2. I often prime my brushes with oil, your chosen face oil, whichever oil that is for you, before I go into certain things like shimmery products that are going to go on the face. For this particular thing I'm about to do, you could do several brushes. You could use Limelife's number 19. It will work for this. You could use Limelife's brush number 18. It will work for this. Or Real Techniques brush 405, it's a cheek pop brush. I really like it for a lot of this kind of stuff, but they all work pretty good, very much similarly. If you have this, don't get this one. And if you are trying to save some cash, this might be your cheaper option. So, okay, this is you, natural. You've got beautiful skin, you just want a little bit of a dilute glow. You prime your brush by taking a drop of oil. This is my chosen face oil. So whichever oil is suited to your skin type. It's very important you use oils that are suited to your skin type because you don't want it to break you out. And if it's suitable to your skin type, and there's one for everyone, it will not ever do that. So even if you're oily, you can still do it. And if you're like, well, if I'm oily, why would I bother putting oil on my brush? It's more so how it's gonna pick up the product. It's also going to give it it's gonna melt it together a bit better. You can always dab on a bit of powder after. You can skip it and go straight in and use just a spritz of rose water or water. That's other options too. Anyways, so go in, you kind of mash it into there. And then what I do is I take a microfiber cloth and I kind of dab it in. So it's in the brush, but it's wet. It's not oil wet, if that makes sense. Then you're gonna go into your powder. Now, you can check it. This might not be quite enough, but you're gonna just kind of like press it into your skin, okay? So I'm only showing you kind of in this one spot, but I use it all over, and I'm gonna show you that too. But see, when you press it in, now it's getting a bit more metallic. So, but you won't have any other makeup on, and so you might be like, whoa, I want it to look so natural. So if you look in the mirror and you're like, whoa, what did I do? Take your brush, go back into your oil, or rose water if you're using, if that's better for you. And you just kind of dab over top of it, and you just keep blending it into your skin, like that. It will start to blend, it will start to dilute it. It eventually will turn into just the slightest little bit of highlight left. And if you're happy, you can take just a bit of translucent powder at that point and set it. This is Limelife's Perfect Translucent Powder. And you can kind of just set it so that it's not so oily. Especially if you are dry skinned, just leave it. Just leave that bad boy. It's going to look beautiful. You don't need to worry. It's those people that are super oily or their faces are super hydrated that may want to do that. So this is going to be one of 2 videos that I'm going to patch into this main original video because there's things I thought of after. Okay, this is the first one. Oh gosh, in a perfect world, Limelife would have a brush like this. My husband used to call it, I think, the rooster brush. We used to do videos together and like live just for fun. And anyway, that's what he calls this. I can see why. It is probably the most fantastic brush for this highlight on earth. And I don't even know why I don't think to use it. And I should really use it, even though it's not Limelife. I want to build on that. Like there's something just slightly better for doing a certain skill. I'm going to mention it because that's just the way it should be. I want to teach people properly. So watch this. Don't have to do anything. This is how effortless. Go into it. There. And then you go onto your cheek. By the way, I have no blush on. I should do the blush. Okay, blush on. Watch this. You just put it to where your top of your cheekbone is, and you just kind of massage it. And it's like really silky, and it kind of just, I don't know, it just starts to work it right into your skin, and it like buffs it. Now we have a bigger one, and I'm going to talk about it in this video. It's not quite the same because this one just, I don't know, like buffs it in. There's other ones out there. I've seen them. I don't know if they're as good. And then you just want to make sure your edges are, like I went a little crazy when I applied it. See how metallic and pretty that is? It is the most gorgeous way to apply. And then I go on my nose a little bit with what's left. You don't want to be too crazy. So this guy. Now, if you are wearing makeup that day and you want to wear it over top, do everything first. There's 2 ways that I sometimes do this. Sometimes I do the highlight first and then blush over top so that it can kind of melt into the highlight. I've done this on my Facebook group a few times. It feels like it depends on the day. So do your blush. And see, it's a bit intense. Whenever you put blush on, and if it goes intense, because I've got really hydrated skin right now, just take your foundation brush or whatever brush you were using last, and you can just kind of pounce out the edges. It just melts it back into your skin. It doesn't leave it all super red looking. It's better than wiping it off with a cotton round. Don't do that, because I'm going to tell you why. This is going to turn into a tips video about a lot of things, I think. So when you do that and you take it off, you have to put it back on. It's not going to be the same, and it's going to overlap on edges of other makeup that you already still have on, and it's going to be like hating it, and you're going to try to fix it again, and now you're running late, and there's just so many things that can go wrong. Just dabbing, so easy. Okay, set with powder, away you go. Okay, so you've got your makeup on. You want to make sure you do set it with powder first. Because you're putting on a highlight, that is very, very creamy. You want your skin to be somewhat dry, not dry. Okay, if you have super dry skin, you want to hydrate it. You want to make sure you do that prep work before you put your makeup on, because it will highlight your dry skin. That's the sad part. That's just the way with all makeup. It kind of does that. So you just want to do that. So now it depends on you. Okay, so if you just want a light highlight, you can use a dry brush. Go in, just a little tap. And then you can kind of just very, very lightly go over top of your makeup. And then when I get about here, I kind of just pull it down just a wee bit. It's a little bit more natural that way, because most highlights don't just, like your cheekbones is going to be round, right? So you want it to sort of wrap a little bit, and then I just kind of fan it out like that. And this is pretty basic. This is a really nice way to wear it. If you want to amp that up, ladies or gentlemen, whoever's watching, you're gonna wet your brush. So if you have like a brush setting spray that's not a finishing spray, like Time Setter is kind of a finishing spray, it wouldn't really work well for this. I've got a priming beauty water. It's part of something I'm working on. I don't really want to share that, but if you have like MAC Fix Plus or even just water would work for this. Like, don't complicate it, but it can't be a finishing spray, is all I'm saying. Okay, so put the spritz. I'm gonna wet your brush. I'm gonna stick it in, and then you just press it. Now this is gonna really intensify. You see how intensified that already is by wetting the brush? And so it's going to, as it dries, it's also going to really set it into your skin. And now this is gonna be an intense highlight, so you may find yourself needing to grab that brush to blend it out. Granted, I've gone over this cheek a few times. I'm gonna be just glowing for days when I go to get my kids. So that's pretty much the ways I would say is easiest to do. Then you would spray your Time Setter on top, or your oil strike, whichever is your chosen formula to set it. Do you need to set it? No, but I think everybody should set their makeup because it will just last longer. It just really will. If you're dry skinned, don't overdo it. I find like the bottle says to spray 4 times, Time Setter. For you, it might only be 1 or 2 if you're super dry, because I find sometimes it can make people a bit crepey looking if they overdo it. But if they do just enough, like the perfect amount, it's beautiful. Like it adds life back into your skin, keeps your makeup in place. So I like to make sure that all my glow, so you don't want to just wear glow on your cheek up here and then just walk out the door, because it'll look kind of obvious. The point is we want our highlight to be something that adds like final touch. It's like the jewelry of the skin. You don't really want to see it, but people look at you and they feel like you're just healthy looking, and they don't really know why. They're not zeroing in on it, but it's because of that last little bit of glow that you just threw in there. So you gotta be very tasteful about how you do it. So now I'm gonna take brush number 19, and I'm gonna go in it. I kind of do this one dry because I want very, very light application. See how it just immediately brought the light to my nose? I love to do a little bit there, just, I don't know, it just works for me. Might not work for you, but give it a shot. I like to go down the bridge of my nose a little tiny bit. At the end, I like to do a little dab, top of my lip. And then you can dust off a little bit onto your chin if you don't have a very prominent chin. And so that just kind of ties it in. You can go up here too. I just find it's a little too intense for that spot, because already, if you've got Limelife makeup on, it should kind of highlight naturally up there, if that makes sense. And so the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with before I check out of here. Now, if you are like, what do I do? I'm mature. And by mature, I mean, you get to that age where your skin is showing some signs of love. You've been there, you've learned some stuff in your life. You want a bit of glow, but you're like, it's just a little too much for me. People would think I look silly because, well, come on. I don't even think I have to answer that. We all know. This is what you're going to do. I will save you the hassle of trying to decide if you can make this work or not. Now, I wish I had a cheek that wasn't glowing already, but you're going to mix these two. But at the time of, the translucent powder will mute that shine if it's just a little too much. Or if you're maybe just getting used to it and you need to build it, just go into this. So first of all, I would do it dry just to see. You want to end off with the translucent powder. Don't worry about getting it on there. You can always clean that off. It's not a big deal. Start off with, I'm gonna dry up here, that, and just see if this works for you. It'll be very light, or it should be. Of course you can't tell. I'm gonna see if I can do it later and patch it into this video with a little bit more of a non-makeup face. I'll try my best to do that when I take this off if I can remember.